Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the UES Discovery and watched the stars through the main view screen. His ship had been exploring this sector of space for 3 months now, and they had found nothing but empty planets and dead systems. The crew was getting restless, and Jake could feel their disappointment growing each day they found no signs of life. Navigator Lisa Brooks turned from her station with excitement in her voice. "Captain, I'm picking up something strange on long-range sensors. It's big and it's moving toward us at incredible speed." She checked her readings twice before continuing. "Sir, this thing is massive. Much larger than any ship we've ever built, and the energy signatures are completely unknown." Dr. Ryan Clark looked up from his science station where he had been studying rock samples from their last planetary survey. "Captain, whatever that object is, it's not using any propulsion system we understand. The energy patterns are unlike anything in our databases." His fingers moved quickly across his console as he tried to make sense of the readings. Communications. Specialist Amanda Torres suddenly straightened in her chair. "Captain, I'm receiving a transmission. It's not in any human language, but our computers are trying to translate it." She listened to her headset for a moment, and her face went pale. "Sir, they're trying to communicate with us." Jake felt his heart rate increase as he realized what this meant. After centuries of searching the stars, humanity had finally made contact with another intelligent species. "Put it on speakers, Amanda. Let's hear what they have to say." The bridge filled with strange musical sounds that seemed to flow like water. The computer worked to translate the alien words, and soon a mechanical voice began speaking in English. "Unknown vessel, this is Commander Veltar of the Zephyrian Collective. We have detected your ship and wish to establish peaceful contact with your species." Jake stepped forward and motioned for Amanda to open a channel. "This is Captain Jake Morrison of the United Earth Ship Discovery. We are explorers from the planet Earth, and we come in peace. We welcome contact with your people." There was a long pause before the alien voice responded. "Captain Morrison, we are pleased to meet representatives of Earth. We have been observing your system from a distance and have many questions about your species. May we approach your vessel for closer communication?" "You may approach," Jake replied. "We are eager to learn about your people as well." Within minutes, the alien ship came into view, and Jake had to steady himself against his command chair. The vessel was enormous, easily 10 times the size of the Discovery. It looked like it was made of living crystal that sparkled with internal light. Strange spires and organic curves covered its surface, and it moved through space with a grace that seemed impossible for something so large. Lisa whistled softly from her station. "Captain, that ship is beautiful. I've never seen anything like it." Dr. Clark was recording everything with his sensors. "The hull appears to be some kind of crystalline composite, but it's showing signs of organic growth patterns. This is incredible technology." Commander Veltar's voice came through the speakers again. "Captain Morrison, we would like to invite you and your senior officers aboard our vessel for formal first contact ceremonies. We have much to discuss." Jake looked around at his crew and saw excitement mixed with nervousness on their faces. This was the moment humanity had dreamed of for generations. "We accept your invitation, Commander. How many of us may come aboard?" "Please bring 4 of your people. We will provide safe transport." Jake quickly selected his away team. "Lisa, Ryan, Amanda, you're with me. The rest of you monitor everything and be ready for anything." He turned to his security chief. "Laura Martinez, you have the bridge until we return." The alien transport beam was unlike anything they had experienced. Instead of the harsh energy fields human technology used, this felt warm and gentle. One moment they were standing on the Discovery, and the next they were in a vast crystalline chamber filled with soft blue light. Commander Veltar was waiting for them, and Jake tried not to stare. The alien was tall and graceful, with translucent skin that seemed to glow from within. 4 arms moved in fluid motions as he gestured in greeting. His face was elongated and elegant, with large eyes that seemed to hold ancient wisdom. "Welcome aboard the Serenity's Dream," Veltar said. His real voice was musical and beautiful, far more pleasant than the translated version they had heard over the radio. "I am honored to be the first of my people to meet humans face to face." Jake stepped forward and extended his hand in the traditional human greeting. "The honor is ours, Commander. This is a historic moment for both our species." Veltar looked at the offered hand with curiosity, and then carefully reached out with one of his 4 arms to grasp it. "Your customs are interesting. We greet each other with harmonic vibrations, but this physical contact has its own meaning." Dr. Clark was looking around the chamber with wonder. The walls seemed to pulse with living light and strange symbols floated in the air around them. "Commander, your technology is amazing. How do you power a ship this size?" "We harness the energy of stars themselves," Veltar replied. "But we must discuss more serious matters. We have been studying your species and your history. We have grave concerns about humanity joining the galactic community." Jake felt a chill run down his spine. "What kind of concerns?" Veltar gestured, and the air filled with holographic images of Earth's history. Battles, wars, destruction, and violence played out before them in vivid detail. "Your species has a pattern of extreme aggression that we have never encountered before. In the past 1,000 years alone, you have fought hundreds of wars and developed weapons capable of destroying your entire planet." Amanda stepped closer to Jake as the images continued. Scenes of human conflict from ancient times to the recent colony wars played endlessly around them. "Commander, those images don't tell the whole story. Humans are capable of great compassion and cooperation as well." "Perhaps," Veltar said, "but the pattern is clear. Every species we have encountered that showed such violent tendencies eventually destroyed themselves or became a threat to others. The collective has seen entire star systems consumed by war because one aggressive species was allowed to spread unchecked." Dr. Clark tried to explain. "Commander, human conflict has also driven our greatest innovations. We've developed medical technology, space travel, and communication systems because we needed to overcome challenges. Competition made us stronger." Veltar's large eyes focused on the human scientist. "This is exactly what concerns us, Dr. Clark. You have weaponized everything. Your mining equipment can be turned into bombs. Your communication networks become tools of war. Even your exploration ships carry weapons." Jake felt the weight of his species' future pressing down on him. "What are you saying, Commander?" "I am saying that the Zephyrian Collective cannot allow a species with humanity's violent history to spread across the galaxy unchecked. You have one solar cycle to prove that your people can change their ways. If you cannot demonstrate that humanity has moved beyond its aggressive nature, we will establish a quarantine around your solar system that will remain in place permanently." The words hit Jake like a physical blow. "You would trap us in our own system?" "We would protect the galaxy from what your species might become," Veltar replied sadly. "We have seen too many worlds burn because peaceful species failed to act when they had the chance. The decision has been made by the Collective Council. You have 1 year to prove that humanity deserves to walk among the stars." The emergency session at Earth Command was unlike anything President Helen Carter had ever experienced. The massive conference room buzzed with tension as military leaders, diplomats, and scientists argued over humanity's response to the alien ultimatum. She sat at the head of the long table and watched her advisors debate their species' future. Admiral Patricia Kane slammed her hand on the table. "We cannot allow these aliens to dictate terms to us. If they want to see how dangerous humans can be, maybe we should show them." Her weathered face showed the strain of commanding Earth's defense forces for the past decade. General Carl Hughes nodded in agreement. "Admiral Kane is right. We've been preparing for this moment since we first reached the stars. Our fleets are ready and our defenses are strong. If these Zephyrians want to fight, we can give them one." Ambassador Kevin Ross shook his head vigorously. "Generals, you're talking about starting a war with a species that has technology far beyond our own. Their ships are 10 times larger than ours, and they've been traveling the stars for centuries. We need to find a peaceful solution." Dr. Nicole Hayes looked up from her tablet where she had been reviewing the data from Captain Morrison's encounter. "The ambassador is right. These aliens have united dozens of worlds through diplomacy. They're not warmongers, they're genuinely afraid of what humanity might do if we spread across the galaxy." President Carter raised her hand for silence. "Dr. Hayes, explain what you mean by that." The xenobiologist stood and activated the holographic display in the center of the table. Based on the cultural data Commander Veltar shared with Captain Morrison, the Zephyrians have never encountered a species like us. They evolved through cooperation and harmony. Competition is almost unknown to them. To them, our entire history looks like one long preparation for galactic conquest. Professor Adam Green adjusted his glasses and spoke up from his seat near the wall. "I've been analyzing their historical records as well. The Zephyrians have seen aggressive species before, but those species destroyed themselves before reaching the stars. We're the first violent race they've met that actually succeeded in building a spacefaring civilization." General Danny Walsh leaned forward. "So what do you suggest we do?" Roll over and accept their judgment? Show them how peaceful we are by surrendering our right to explore the galaxy? No, Dr. Hayes replied. We show them what human aggression really is. We show them that our competitive nature has driven us to achieve things that peaceful species never could. We prove that our strength comes from protecting what we love, not from destroying what we hate. Colonel Rebecca Stone had been quiet throughout the debate, but now she spoke with conviction. Dr. Hayes has a point. Human military doctrine has always been about defense first. We fight to protect our families, our homes, our way of life. Maybe that's something these aliens can understand. Ambassador Ross nodded enthusiastically.
Yes, exactly.
We need to demonstrate that human strength is protective, not destructive. We can show them our medical advances, our rescue operations, our willingness to sacrifice for others. Meanwhile, thousands of miles above Earth's surface, Captain Morrison paced the bridge of the Discovery as more alien ships arrived in the system. Each new vessel was unique in design, but all shared the same crystalline beauty as the Serenity's dream. Navigator Lisa Brooks tracked their movements while trying to understand their intentions. Captain, we now have 17 Zephyrian ships in the system, Lisa reported. They're maintaining a defensive formation, but they're not approaching Earth directly. Chief Science Officer Dr. Ryan Clark looked up from his sensor readings. Their energy signatures are incredible, Captain. Each of those ships could probably destroy our entire fleet single-handedly. Communications Specialist Amanda Torres turned from her station with a worried expression. Sir, I'm monitoring their communications, and while I can't understand most of it, the tone seems increasingly concerned. I think they're debating what to do about us. Captain Morrison stopped pacing and stared out at the alien fleet. Keep monitoring their signals, Amanda. The moment they seem hostile, I want to know about it. Back on the alien flagship, Commander Veltar was indeed discussing humanity's fate with his superiors. The bridge of the Serenity's dream was filled with other Zephyrian officers, their translucent forms glowing softly in the blue light. Elder Zixara appeared as a hologram from the collective council chambers. Commander Veltar, what is your assessment of the human threat level? The ancient alien asked. Her voice carried the wisdom of centuries and the authority of someone who had guided her people through countless challenges. Veltar moved his forearms in a gesture of uncertainty. Elder, the humans are unlike any species we have studied. Their capacity for violence is matched only by their capacity for innovation. In just the few hours since our meeting, they have begun modifying their ships for combat, while simultaneously preparing cultural presentations. Sub-Commander Kirith stepped forward from his position at the tactical station. Elder Zixara, our long-range sensors show human military forces mobilizing throughout their system. They have weapon platforms we did not know existed, and their fleet strength is greater than our initial estimates. The Elder's image flickered as she processed this information. This confirms our concerns. A species that prepares for war even while negotiating for peace cannot be trusted with galactic freedom. On Earth, Dr. Hayes worked frantically in her laboratory to prepare a comprehensive presentation about human evolution. Her assistant, Dr. Marcus Chen, helped her compile thousands of years of human history into a format the aliens might understand. Dr. Hayes, how do we explain war to a species that has never experienced it? Marcus asked as he sorted through historical documents. We don't explain war, she replied. We explain survival. We show them that every human conflict has ultimately made us stronger, more adaptable, more capable of protecting ourselves and others. Professor Green entered the lab carrying armloads of books and data tablets. I've found examples of human cooperation that span our entire history. Even in our darkest wars, humans have shown compassion for enemies, mercy for the defeated, and willingness to sacrifice for strangers. Dr. Hayes nodded as she worked. That's it exactly. We need to show them that human aggression and human compassion are two sides of the same coin. We fight fiercely, but we fight for something worth protecting. As the hours passed, both sides prepared for what they hoped would be peaceful resolution, but feared might be inevitable conflict. The Zephyrians saw a dangerous species that needed to be contained. Humans saw judges who had condemned them without understanding what they truly were. Unknown to either side, sensors deep in space detected movement from the galactic rim. Ancient ships that had been silent for centuries began powering up their engines. The Krolix Empire had been waiting for exactly this kind of opportunity, and they were finally ready to make their move against the Zephyrian collective. War Chief Threxog studied the reports from his scouts with satisfaction. Two powerful species on the verge of conflict meant opportunity for the Krolix to reclaim their lost empire. Soon, the galaxy would remember why the Krolix had once been feared across 1,000 worlds. Dr. Nicole Hayes stood before the quantum communication array and took a deep breath. The entire future of humanity rested on what she was about to say to the Zephyrian Collective Council. Behind her, President Carter and the world's leaders watched in tense silence as the connection established with the alien flagship. Elder Zixara's holographic form appeared before them, her ancient features showing both curiosity and concern. Dr. Hayes, we have agreed to hear your species' defense. You have 1 hour to convince us that humanity deserves freedom among the stars. Dr. Hayes activated her presentation, and the space filled with images of human history. Elder Zixara, honored members of the collective, you have judged humanity based on our conflicts, but you have misunderstood what those conflicts represent. We do not fight because we are evil. We fight because we refuse to give up. The holographic display showed early humans surviving ice ages, natural disasters, and countless challenges. Every species faces extinction at some point in their evolution. Most species either adapt or die. Humans chose a third option. We chose to change our environment instead of letting it change us. Elder Zixara leaned forward with interest. Explain this concept further, Dr. Hayes. When faced with predators stronger than us, we did not evolve claws or fangs. We made tools. When the climate changed, we did not adapt our bodies. We created shelter and clothing. When disease threatened us, we did not develop immunity. We developed medicine. Human aggression is not about destroying others. It is about refusing to accept defeat. The presentation continued with images of human achievements, medical breakthroughs that saved millions of lives, engineering projects that connected continents, space missions that reached other worlds. Every advancement we have made came from the same drive that you see as dangerous, the refusal to accept that something cannot be done. Professor Green stepped forward to add historical context. Elder, in our darkest wars, humans have shown remarkable compassion. We have treaties that protect civilians, laws that govern the treatment of prisoners and soldiers who risk their lives to save enemies. Our capacity for violence is matched by our capacity for mercy. Commander Veltar's image appeared beside the Elder. Dr. Hayes, your presentation is compelling, but we have seen the evidence. Your species weaponizes everything it touches. Even your exploration ships carry armaments. Dr. Hayes nodded. Yes, Commander, they do, but not because we seek conquest. They carry weapons because the universe is dangerous, and we have learned that preparation prevents tragedy. Would you send your children into unknown space without the means to protect them? The alien commander considered this for a moment. His forearms moved in what humans had learned was a gesture of contemplation. Your logic has merit, but the risk remains. A species with your capabilities could threaten every peaceful world in the galaxy, or protect them, Dr. Hayes replied. Commander, what happens when your peaceful species encounters something that diplomacy cannot solve? What happens when you meet a threat that does not want to negotiate? Before Commander Veltar could answer, alarms began blaring throughout the alien fleet. Lieutenant Scott Davis, monitoring communications from Earth Command, suddenly stood up. Ma'am, something's happening. The alien ships are going to emergency status. On the bridge of the Serenity's Dream, chaos erupted as sensor readings flooded in. Subcommander Kireth turned from his station with alarm. Commander, we have multiple contacts decloaking throughout the system. They are not human vessels. Commander Veltar's expression changed to one of shock and fear. Krolix Empire ships, but that is impossible. They have been contained for over 2 centuries. The view screen showed dozens of dark angular ships materializing from stealth fields. Unlike the beautiful crystalline vessels of the Zephyrians or the functional designs of human craft, these ships looked like instruments of pure destruction. Spikes and weapon ports covered their hulls, and they moved with predatory grace through space. War Chief Threxog's voice boomed across all communication channels. Zephyrian weaklings and their new human allies. The Krolix Empire reclaims what was stolen from us. Your peaceful ways have made you soft and vulnerable. Captain Morrison rushed to his command chair aboard the Discovery. All stations battle alert. Amanda, get me a line to Commander Veltar immediately. Sir, I'm trying, but their communications are jammed, Amanda Torres replied. The Krolix are broadcasting on all frequencies. The Krolix war chief continued his message. We have been watching from the shadows as you debate the fate of these humans. How convenient that you have brought your fleets here for us to destroy. The human species will serve as our allies in reclaiming the galaxy. Dr. Hayes stared at the display in horror. That's not true. We have no alliance with these Krolix. Elder Zixara's hologram flickered with interference from the enemy jamming. Dr. Hayes explained this deception. How long have humans been working with the Krolix Empire? We haven't, Dr. Hayes protested. We've never even heard of the Krolix before today. This is some kind of setup. But her words were drowned out as the first Krolix ships opened fire on a Zephyrian science vessel. The elegant alien ship's crystal hull shattered under the assault, and escape pods scattered like seeds in the wind. Commander Veltar appeared on the Discovery's main screen, his usually calm demeanor replaced by grim determination. Captain Morrison, it appears your species has deceived us about your peaceful intentions. The Krolix Empire has been our greatest enemy, and now they claim you as allies. Commander, you have to believe me, Captain Morrison said urgently. We have no connection to these Krolix. This is the first time any human has seen them. Perhaps, Veltar replied, but the evidence suggests otherwise. Our sensors show that Krolix ships have been hiding in your system's outer regions for weeks. Why would they be here unless you summoned them? Admiral Kane's voice crackled over the comm from Luna Base. All human vessels, we are under attack. The aliens are charging weapons and targeting our colonies. This is not a drill. Repeat, we are under attack. General Hughes appeared on multiple screens throughout the Earth Defense Network. All units implement Defensive Protocol 7. The alien fleet is moving against Earth. We are authorized to engage with lethal force. Dr. Hayes watched in horror as her carefully planned presentation crumbled around her. Elder Zixara, please listen to reason. These Krolix are manipulating both of us. They want us to fight each other. But the Elder's image was fading as the quantum communication link failed under enemy interference. Dr. Hayes, the time for words has passed. The collective will defend itself against this human. Treachery, the first shots, between humans and Zephyrians lit up space around Earth as misunderstanding, and manipulation led two species toward a war, neither wanted. In the outer system, Krolix ships watched with satisfaction as their plan unfolded perfectly. War Chief Threxog studied the tactical display with cruel pleasure. Excellent work, Vexmore. Both species are now committed to destroying each other. Soon we will be free to reclaim our empire while they exhaust themselves in pointless conflict. His lieutenant nodded with satisfaction. War Chief, the deception is complete. The humans believe the Zephyrians started the attack, and the Zephyrians believe the humans betrayed them. Neither side will listen to reason now. As plasma fire and energy beams crisscrossed the solar system, the war that nobody wanted had finally begun. The truth about the Krolix manipulation remained hidden, while two civilizations prepared to tear each other apart, exactly as the ancient empire had planned. The war exploded across the solar system with a fury that surprised both sides. Zephyrian ships moved in perfect formation, their crystalline hulls gleaming as they fired coordinated volleys at human positions. But the humans fought back with a ferocity and unpredictability that the aliens had never encountered before. Captain Morrison led the first human counterattack, using the Discovery and 3 escort vessels to strike at the alien fleet's flank. All ships, follow my lead and remember your training. We're not trying to destroy them all. Just show them we won't go down easy. Pilot Emma Foster flew her fighter through a maze of alien energy beams, her ship dancing between the deadly streams of plasma. Captain, these aliens fight like they're conducting an orchestra. Every move is planned and coordinated, but that makes them predictable. The Zephyrians had superior technology, but human tactics were completely alien to them. Where the Zephyrians expected formation flying and organized battle lines, humans used hit-and-run attacks, suicide runs, and improvised weapons that changed the rules of engagement every few minutes. Engineer Tony Parker worked frantically in the Discovery's engineering bay, converting mining lasers into weapons and turning cargo containers into missile launchers. Captain, I've got the mineral processors online as kinetic cannons. They're not pretty, but they'll punch holes in alien hulls. General Rebecca Stone coordinated the defense of Mars Colony from her command bunker deep beneath the planet's surface. All units, use the terrain to your advantage. These aliens fight in open space formations. Make them come down into the canyons and valleys where their big ships can't maneuver. The human defenders turned everything into weapons just as the aliens had feared. Civilian cargo haulers became kamikaze vessels loaded with explosives. Mining equipment became artillery. Even the orbital construction platforms were converted into massive railguns that could hurl metal projectiles at incredible speeds. Dr. Ryan Clark made a crucial discovery while analyzing the battle data streaming in from across the system. Captain, I'm seeing patterns in their attack strategies. The Zephyrians are brilliant at large-scale coordination, but they're terrible at adapting to chaos. Every time we do something unexpected, it takes them several minutes to reorganize. What does that mean for us? Captain Morrison asked as he watched another wave of alien fighters approach their position. It means we need to stay unpredictable, Dr. Clark replied. Their peaceful nature is both their strength and their weakness. They're used to fighting according to rules and plans. We fight according to whatever works. On the Zephyrian flagship, Commander Veltar struggled to understand the human way of war. His tactical officers provided constant updates, but every prediction they made about human behavior proved wrong within minutes. Commander, the humans are using their medical ships as attack vessels, Sub-Commander Kirith reported with confusion. They have converted hospital transports into heavy assault craft. That violates every principle of civilized warfare, Veltar replied. How can they desecrate vessels meant for healing? Sir, it appears they have also weaponized their agricultural equipment. Farming robots are being used as ground assault units on Mars, another officer added. Commander Veltar felt a growing unease as he watched the human resistance. These were not the actions of a purely aggressive species. The humans were fighting with desperate creativity, using everything available to protect their homes and families. It reminded him uncomfortably of how his own people might fight if their core worlds were threatened. The turning point in Veltar's thinking came when he witnessed something that challenged everything the collective believed about human nature. A damaged human transport ship was drifting helplessly near Jupiter when Zephyrian fighters moved in to destroy it. Instead of abandoning the vessel, human pilots threw themselves between the transport and the alien weapons. Lieutenant Scott Davis led the desperate rescue mission, his fighter weaving through enemy fire to reach the transport. All ships that transport is carrying civilian refugees from the Europa mining station. We don't abandon our people. The human pilots fought with suicidal bravery to protect the refugee ship, and several died buying time for it to escape. What struck Commander Veltar was that the humans could have easily sacrificed the transport to save their fighters, but they chose to risk military assets to protect civilians. Sub-Commander, did you observe the human rescue operation near Jupiter? Veltar asked his aide. Yes, Commander. They lost 3 fighters to save 1 transport ship. It was tactically inefficient. Or tactically brilliant, Veltar mused. They were not fighting to destroy us. They were fighting to protect their own people. There is a difference. Meanwhile, the Krolix Empire continued to manipulate the battle from the shadows. War Chief Threxog watched with satisfaction as both fleets weakened each other. His ships remained cloaked, occasionally launching anonymous attacks that each side blamed on the other. Bexmore studied the tactical displays from his position on the Krolix command ship. War Chief, both fleets have suffered significant losses. The humans have lost approximately 30% of their military vessels, and the Zephyrian fleet has been reduced by 20%. Excellent, Threxog growled. Continue the deception operations. Make sure both sides remain convinced that the other started this war. The Krolix launched another false flag attack, this time against a human medical station orbiting Saturn. The attack appeared to come from Zephyrian ships, and the human response was swift and brutal. Admiral Kane ordered a massive retaliation strike against the alien fleet. But as the battle raged, some on both sides began to question what they were fighting for. Human medic Dr. Julie Sanders found herself treating wounded Zephyrian prisoners and was struck by their confusion and genuine distress about the war. Why are your people doing this? One wounded alien asked her. We came in peace. We only wanted to prevent galactic war. Dr. Sanders had no answer that made sense. The more she learned about Zephyrian culture, the less their supposed aggression seemed believable. These were not conquerors or warmongers. They were genuinely terrified of what humanity might become. Colonel Gary Webb captured a damaged Krolix infiltration unit near Earth's moon, and what he found in their ship's computer banks made his blood run cold. Evidence of weeks of surveillance, detailed plans for manipulation, and communications with the Krolix fleet hidden in the outer system. Admiral Kane, you need to see this immediately, Colonel Webb transmitted. We've been played. The Krolix have been manipulating both sides from the beginning, but the evidence came too late to stop the momentum of war. Both fleets were committed to battle, and trust between the species had been shattered by Krolix deception. The truth was finally emerging, but would it be enough to prevent the mutual destruction that the ancient empire had planned? As explosions lit up the space around Earth, Captain Morrison and Commander Veltar found themselves facing a choice that would determine the fate of both their civilizations. The real enemy was finally revealing itself, but could two species that had been trying to destroy each other just hours before find a way to work together against the true threat? The disabled space station drifted silently between Earth and Mars, its hull torn open by Krolix weapons designed to look like human missiles. Inside the twisted metal corridors, Captain Morrison and Commander Veltar worked together to survive while their fleets continued destroying each other in the distance. "Captain, the atmospheric processors in Section C are failing," Commander Veltar said, his forearms working to reroute power through damaged systems. "We have perhaps 2 hours of breathable air remaining." Captain Morrison used his plasma cutter to clear debris from a collapsed doorway. "Then we better figure out how to get out of here fast. My people will keep fighting until there's nothing left, and from what I've seen, so will yours." The two commanders had been forced together when their ships were destroyed in the same Krolix ambush. Now they faced automated defense systems and failing life support while trying to reach the station's communication array. Both leaders had realized the truth about the Krolix manipulation, but their fleets were too busy fighting to listen. "Commander, help me understand something," Morrison said as they worked. "Your people have been peaceful for centuries. Why did you really come to our system?" Veltar paused in his repairs and looked at the human captain. "Because we were afraid, Captain Morrison. In all our history, we have never encountered a species like yours. You achieved through conflict what we achieved through cooperation. It terrified us, and now?" Morrison asked. "Now I see that we were both right and wrong," Veltar replied. "Humans are dangerous, but not in the way we thought. You are dangerous to your enemies, but you will die to protect those you care about. That is not evil, that is courage." Their conversation was interrupted by the sound of metal tearing as something large moved through the station's outer hull. The emergency lights flickered and the artificial gravity failed, leaving them floating in the corridor. "Krolix boarding party," Veltar said grimly. "They want to make sure neither of us survives to tell the truth about their deception." Morrison pulled out his sidearm and checked the charge. "How many of them are there likely to be?" "Krolix warriors are bred for combat," Veltar explained as he activated his own energy weapon. "They are stronger and faster than either humans or Zephyrians, but they are also arrogant and predictable." The first Krolix warrior smashed through the bulkhead with its bare claws, revealing a creature that looked like it had been designed by nightmares. Twice the size of a human, covered in natural armor plates with 4 arms ending in razor-sharp talons. Its face was all teeth and predatory eyes. Morrison fired his weapon at the creature while Veltar used his superior knowledge of alien technology to activate the station's remaining defensive systems. Sparks flew as damaged circuits overloaded, but the automated lasers managed to drive the Krolix back temporarily. "Captain, we must reach the communication array," Veltar said urgently. "If we can broadcast the evidence of Krolix deception on all frequencies, both our fleets will realize they are fighting the wrong enemy." They fought their way through the station's twisting corridors, using teamwork that neither species had thought possible. Morrison's human adaptability combined with Veltar's technological knowledge to overcome obstacles that would have stopped either of them alone. When Krolix warriors blocked their path, Morrison's aggressive tactics and Veltar's precise energy weapons proved devastatingly effective together. Outside the station, the space battle continued with increasing desperation. Admiral Kane watched from Luna Base as human ships threw themselves against the alien fleet, while taking terrible losses. "All units maintain attack formation. We cannot let them reach Earth." On the Zephyrian flagship, Elder Zixara arrived to take personal command of the battle. "Sub-Commander Kireth, status report on our assault." "Elder, human resistance is far stronger than predicted. They fight with strategies we have never encountered. Our losses are mounting, but we are slowly gaining ground." The Elder studied the tactical displays with growing concern. The humans were not fighting like conquerors or aggressors. They were fighting like a cornered species defending their young. Every human ship that fell took several Zephyrian vessels with it. and the human pilots showed no fear of death when protecting their colonies. The breakthrough came when Morrison and Veltar finally reached the communication array. Working together, they managed to broadcast the evidence from the captured Krolix computers on all frequencies, using both human and Zephyrian communication protocols. Dr. Nicole Hayes received the transmission at Earth Command and immediately understood its significance. "President Carter, you need to see this. The Krolix have been manipulating both sides from the beginning. They wanted us to destroy each other. The evidence was overwhelming. Recordings of Krolix planning sessions, technical specifications for their cloaking technology, and detailed battle plans that showed how they had orchestrated every major confrontation. Most damning of all were the communications between Krolix ships and their hidden fleet." Admiral Kane stared at the data in shock. "My God, we've been fighting the wrong enemy. Get me a direct line to the Zephyrian fleet immediately." But the Krolix were not finished with their deception. War Chief Threxog realized that his manipulation had been exposed and decided to reveal his true fleet. Hundreds of Krolix warships decloaked throughout the solar system, vastly outnumbering both the human and Zephyrian forces combined. "Attention, inferior species," Threxog broadcast. "Your pathetic alliance cannot save you now. The Krolix Empire will reclaim the galaxy, and your worlds will serve as the foundation of our new conquest." Elder Zixara appeared on President Carter's communication screen, her expression showing both regret and determination. "President Carter, it appears we have both been deceived. The collective formally apologizes for our actions and requests immediate alliance against this true threat." "Alliance granted," President Carter replied without hesitation. "Admiral Kane, coordinate with the Zephyrian fleet. We fight together now." The final battle began as human innovation merged with Zephyrian coordination to create tactics neither species could have achieved alone. Human pilot Chris Murphy led combined fighter squadrons using Zephyrian targeting systems, while Dr. Clark and the alien scientist Dr. Keloth developed new weapons by combining human adaptability with alien technology. The Krolix had expected to face two weakened fleets, fighting separately. Instead, they encountered a unified force that adapted and evolved faster than their battle computers could calculate responses. Human creativity provided solutions to problems the Zephyrians had never imagined, while Zephyrian precision made human innovations devastatingly effective. War Chief Threxog watched his ancient empire crumble, as his supposedly superior forces were outmaneuvered by the alliance he had tried to prevent. Impossible. How can these inferior species defeat the Krolix Empire? His final transmission was cut short as Captain Morrison and Commander Veltar, now fighting side by side in a captured Krolix vessel, coordinated a joint assault that destroyed the enemy flagship. In the aftermath, as rescue ships from both species worked together to save survivors, Elder Zixara met with President Carter aboard the Discovery. "President Carter, the collective extends an invitation for humanity to join the galactic community. We have learned that your deadliness comes not from hatred, but from your unwillingness to surrender what you cherish." Dr. Hayes smiled as she watched human and Zephyrian crews working together to repair battle damage. "Elder, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship." The story ended with human and alien ships sailing together toward the galactic core, where new adventures awaited two species that had learned to see strength in their differences.